2026, Wisconsinites and voters across this country will make a choice about the future of our state when they elect our next governor.
A group of Democratic governors in Madison Friday, including Governor Tony Evers and Minnesota Governor, former VP candidate Tim Walz.
The Democratic Governors Association meeting coming a week after Evers announced he will not seek a third term, fueling instant bids and big-time speculation about the year ahead.
Hey everybody.
Democratic Governor Tony Evers kicking off what he's calling ice cream town halls across the state, days after announcing he wouldn't seek a third term as governor, and for the first time talking about his decision and the emerging Democratic primary. The Lieutenant Governor over the weekend told us she would welcome your endorsement. I'm curious, are you going to endorse in the Democratic primary now?
Probably not. I tend to try to avoid that, so no, I'll never say never, but I want to make sure who the rest of the candidates are before I even make that decision. That's the important thing. I tend to not get involved with primaries in general, and so that's probably where I hope to be again. But but then in turn, if there's somebody that really needs support and I want them to win, I might get in. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez launching her campaign not even 24 hours after Evers' announcement. Rodriguez telling us last Sunday,
He did give me a heads up that he was going to retire.
The governor with reporters in Milwaukee responding.
How early did you give her the heads up and what were those conversations like?
It was just at the same time I let my cabinet members know the day of. So the idea that there was, from what you said, something already done the day before, whatever, you'll have to ask her why that happened.
There's been a lot of talk in the last 24 hours just about your campaign launch and your video when everything was ready, when you found out. Can you just walk through the timeline of everything for people who may have questions about that?
So Governor Evers was clear. I was given notice that he was going to resign at the same time that the cabinet members were, which was the day that he resigned. And so that's kind of all I'm willing to say about that timeline. But what we do know is that we need people who are prepared and organized and ready to fight for Wisconsin.
Rodriguez in Sheboygan, a tour with the mayor and city leaders. When asked to expand on the timing of her launch, a spokesperson jumping in.
So this is official side stop reminder. We are not allowed to fully talk about our campaign.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about that at a different time because we are on an official stop here today.
Other potential Democrats considering bids this weekend as well, including Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, who says his launch is coming soon.
We'll be announcing my candidacy officially in a few weeks. I know everybody's been asking, but I will say that it has been inspiring and encouraging the past few days. The number of phone calls, the text messages, the love that I've seen on social media since confirming that I'll be getting into this governor's race.
Let's bring in Kyle Kondik. He's managing editor of Savato's Crystal Ball at the University of Virginia Center for Politics. Kyle, thanks for being here. So you changed the rating on the governor's race from leans Democrat to toss-up here in Wisconsin. How significant is this and why the move?
Incumbent governors are really pretty difficult to defeat. And in fact, Wisconsin does actually have a recent example of that, of Scott Walker losing a bid for a third term in 2018. But even in the midst of a really good Democratic political environment, Walker almost won that race and ended up being very, very close when Tony Evers beat him the first time. If you just go through, you look at, across the country, what happens in governor's races, they're just likelier to flip when they're open seats. And there's also kind of an inherent added uncertainty when you remove an incumbent and you have an open primary process where there could really be a lot of candidates on both sides.
We are more than a year out from this race in November of 2026. What will you be watching most closely that might make you adjust this rating over the next year?
Who's emerging as the candidates, I think, is important, and also, what is the national political environment? Wisconsin is about as evenly balanced of a state as you can come up with at the presidential level in recent years. We have seen that, for instance, in the Supreme Court race earlier this year, the Democrats, the Democratic aligned candidate anyway, scored a pretty convincing victory. But look, maybe the Republicans produce a stronger nominee than the Democrat. Maybe the race is not, maybe it isn't that good of a Democratic environment next year. There are all sorts of, factors that could go into it.
And you also noted that potentially more than half of next year's governor's races could feature
open seats. How significant is that when you look at the landscape, and how unusual is that?
It's a relatively high number when you look across the country. And again, Evers, I think it's the 17th open seat out of 36 being contested next year. We also have 2 governor's races coming up later this year. Virginia, which is always an open seat, and then New Jersey, which is an open seat because Phil Murphy, the Democratic incumbent there, is term limited. So if you put it together, you've got 19 of the 38 governor's races over the next 2 years as open seat races. Again, incumbent governors can lose, but when you see turnover in governor's races, again, it just more often comes in these open seats.
It'll be a long and fascinating road ahead. Kyle Kondik, managing editor of Sabados Crystal Ball. Hey, Kyle, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up, the new tax credits to make movies in Wisconsin. A Wisconsin filmmaker and UW professor is here next.